So this week I've spent literally the last 2 days swapping the tackle out in my boat. There's a time of year when it goes kind of fall to wintertime fishing. And what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna hop in the rod locker right here. We're gonna pull the rods out that I rigged up, got ready to go for wintertime fishing. And what's crazy, unless I go somewhere way off, unless we get a big rain, it's pretty much it. These rods that I have in the boat are the rods that I'm gonna carry all through wintertime fishing. So yeah, just go through each rod, kind of tell you what I use it for. And I bet there's not as many rods as you think is gonna be in there. Let's get in. So in no particular order, I'm gonna literally pull them out. These are the rods, December, January, February, that never leave the boat. Looks like there's about 15. So I'm just gonna start at the top. We all know what that is. Just casting, windy banks, live scope, whatever. I mean, that catches them. I haven't thrown it in actually 13 years, but we're gonna film with it this year. I've not thrown it since they outlawed it, not a single cast with it. We're gonna film some stuff. This, I've probably caught as many bass on this as anything in the wintertime. Bandit 300, spring craw, wind down the bank, shallow brush piles. Now, why a square bill? Got to know Norman in there. You know, we get a little flush of rain. A lot of times these creeks will kind of get off color. There won't be a lot of fish that'll be in these creeks, but there'll be some big ones. Never leaves the boat. I'm new to this, but literally got hooked on it this year. I'm not sure if I can catch one in the wintertime, but I'm gonna try. I figure you can, like around some of that isolated structure, get it down there a little bit deeper, the old glide. A football jig. So a lot of times out there scoping, you know, you can pick up the ones that's floating and stuff on a minnow. But especially if you catch a couple, it's like a good follow-up bait, you know, deep rock piles and stuff like that. Some days, you know, I've noticed if you see one on scope, there's probably 8 or 10 down there on the bottom. They won't hardly turn down a football jig. So we're gonna stay in the jig category. Just a finesse jig. I mean, if you live in the Midwest, everybody knows what that is. Dock flipping, casting, just going down the bank, stumps, things like that. Finesse jig. One more jig in here. So I don't know if you guys are like me, but a flipping stick never leaves my boat. And I catch a lot of fish flipping in the wintertime. I don't catch, you know, you don't catch 15 or 20, you catch 5 or 6 or 8, but they tend to be big ones if the weather's right. You get the, you know, a little bit of color in the water late in the afternoon, those fish will get up there. I could probably take this one out, but we'll probably be spending some time on the river. Got some mats and things like that, so just a big weight rod. Actually, that never leaves the boat. The only thing, and in some of these baits, you know, it's not that particular bait, but I mean, I can catch them on this bait. But as far as a spinner bait, same thing with the square bill. You get a little, you know, a little dirty water. You get 3 or 4 days of that warm, like we do in the wintertime, that 60, 65 for a high. It's a good way to catch big ones. Got the old blade jig. Don't really throw it much, but we go to some of these lakes filming, and it'll have some grass and stuff that's starting to fall down. So we will throw that. That's more of a springtime, but it stays in the wintertime. And we're down to 2, which are probably the most popular. We got a jerk bait. This is actually just a regular one. I'll throw a deep one too. But it's just winter time. I mean, there's not a better way to catch a big one, whether you're looking at live scope and you're looking at it, or you're just going down a windy bake, you're fishing over structure, brush piles, rock piles, things like that, not a better bait. And then, last but not least, the old Yum Sonar minnow. So, I mean, that scoping, things like that. But I have learned, like, there are days where some of these other baits, I can catch a little bit bigger fish, especially on a warming trend. So the other two in there are duplicates. Got an extra spinnerbait rod, and an extra crankbait rod. But those are the rods for December. They, like I said, they go in December. They probably don't come out until the 1st of March. I'll do some switching, as far as bait-wise a little bit. But all in all, those are my December rods. I hope you guys learned something. I appreciate you riding along.